You thought you had it planned, you thought you had your man. He saw you coming, he ran when you tried to blast that man. Missed him by inches, he sprinted. Some of his boys on the corner was who your bullets entered. 2 of them pulled through, but 1 didn't, sons finished.
This is Basketball KINGZ PDX. I'm your host, Troy L. Berry, along with my co-host, Karl Malone. Today's guest is, man, we're blessed for this presence. The big man, BrianGrant, and the impact that you made here and the imprint that you had here in the city, man. People remember you, man, they still love you, man. So I'm glad you're a guest on our show, bro.
Happy to be on here. And, you know, the impact I made on the city made just as big an impact on me and my family. That's why we're here.
That's a big
Great
thing.
community.
That's a big thing, man, because a lot of people, man, when they come and play for the Blazers, man, they end up staying here. You being one of them, Cliff Robinson being another one. Clyde was here for a while. You know, TP, Terry Porter still coaching. Michael Holton still doing his thing. So that's a big thing, man. I mean, this city has a way of embracing players who have gone and played here, man.
Absolutely. I mean, playing in 5 different cities during my career, I mean, this one always felt like home.
Yeah.
And I knew it was going to be home when I was finished.
Yeah. How did you adjust to coming from the college life into the pro life?
Coming from the college life to the pro life, first and foremost, I never thought that I was going to have any kind of post-college career.
Wait, hold on. So when did you realize that you was a pro?
The day I got drafted.
Come on, man.
I tell you, I'm for real.
In college, you didn't know?
You know what? You know, I did some things in college, but nobody was really looking at them, you know. And when it was over, I only had 3 agents that wanted to meet with me. 2 of them told me if I went to any of the camps, that I'd play myself out of a second-round overseas job. And Mark Bartelstein from Priority Sports said, if you don't go, you're going to regret it. So I ended up going to Phoenix, not because I was invited. He had to, I don't know who he bribed to get me up in there, but you know, he got me in there. And that first morning that we worked out, you know, they send you in groups of like 7 or 8 in Phoenix. Y'all know how it's a box right there in Phoenix. And it was lined with GMs and coaches, and first shot was a jump hook. I could not shoot a jump hook. I was so nervous, I came out and threw it extra hard, and it hit the top of the backboard. Now I got all these GMs and scouts laughing. I'm backing up looking for the door, like, where the door at? And somebody grabbed me and said, just get back in line, B. Went to my room, I called him and said, why you make me come here, man? I just got embarrassed. He goes, what happened? I told him, listen, they don't care if you can shoot a jump hook. They care what you're gonna do tonight in the game. Just do what you do. So that night, the game came up, and I had Khalid Reeves and Anthony Goldwire as my point guards. And I went up to him and I said, look, man, if I get that rebound, give it to you and beat everybody down the court, will you give it back? They were like, you gonna beat everybody down the court? I said, I'm beating everybody. He said, we'll give it back. And that night was like a 22-20 night. I went from nobody to having like 12 to 15 team visits afterwards. And then when the draft rolled around, you know, my agent called me and said, we sending tickets, you know, for you to come to Indianapolis. I said, first of all, I'm only in Cincinnati. Second of all, I'm not going to the draft. He goes, what? You're gonna be drafted? I said, listen, I'm not going to the draft. And I never really told anybody this. The real reason I didn't want to go to the draft was because I was scared to death to have to walk up there to David Stern, shake his hand, and speak.
Not the fact that you might not get drafted, but you were scared to walk up.
I was scared. I was scared. I was small town country still, man. And anyway, man, and I can remember throwing a party for my family. We're sitting there, and the 5th pick goes. My phone rings. I run in the back, and it's Travis Stanley from Sacramento. He said, you ready to be a king? And I said, 8th? He goes, yeah. I said, all right. He goes, don't tell your family. So I come back in, and they're like, what, baby, what? I was like, we going 15th. And my mom was like, oh, passed out. Grandma, everybody passing out and shaking, you know, grabbing this, that, and other. So the 7th pick, Lamont Murray, just gets picked. Now Sacramento's on the board. I said, let's check this out. Comes out and announces BrianGrant. Wow. They all looked at me and just was like everybody in there just fell out, man. And it was just, yeah, man. You know, I'm writing a book too, and it's because the more I think about it, it's really unbelievable, man. Yeah, you know, 13 state in rebounding. I was never Mr. Basketball, never went to any camps. wasn't supposed to get a college, scholarship. And it just seemed like God kept putting things out there and saying, if you want it, go get it. And I kept going until there wasn't no more to get.
That's amazing testimony, man. And you're doing some wonderful work with your foundation. And could you just, embark on that?
Yeah, I was diagnosed in 2008 when I came back to Portland. I had retired in 2006 in Phoenix, and I noticed I was having little skin tremors in my hand, and I didn't know what that was. And so I went to the neurologist, and he said, listen, you played 12 years in the league, people end up with twitches and things. And so I didn't think nothing of it, took my family to Miami and went through this really bad depression. And once I came out of that, now it was a twitch in the finger. So I wasn't getting any answers in Miami, and I love the sun, but when you're depressed, it don't matter if it's sunny or raining, And so I ended up bringing my family back here, and then in 2008 I went to OHSU. Now I was diagnosed with young onset Parkinson's. And when I first was diagnosed, I didn't know much about it. I just wanted to know, was it something that was going to kill me? And he assured me that I would die from something other than Parkinson's. And then after that, I just didn't know really what to do. And finally I said, I'm gonna start a foundation, because if I have all these resources at my feet and I can't figure out what to do, I really feel sorry for the person that doesn't know anybody to be able to go out there and say, what do I do? And so at the BrianGrant Foundation, we help those afflicted with Parkinson's live productive and meaningful lives. And we do it through exercise, nutrition, and wellness. Yeah.
That's beautiful, man. So, and that started in?
It started in 2009. We didn't get our tax ID until 2010. We did our first Shake It Till We Make It in Portland, which, I always wanted to throw a nice party or something, some kind of gathering out here. And then once I was diagnosed and I was starting the foundation, I wanted to blow everybody away.
I wasn't gonna say nothing about you partying, man, but you hung out, a couple of times back in the day when you played.
Hey, this was a safe city to hang out in. You know what I'm saying? We could go, and when it was mad love in the streets. Right. So love Portland.
So I was doing some research about you and Parkinson and the foundation, and I came across some footage of you and Michael J. Fox. I know a lot of the younger viewers might not know who he is,
right,
but we know who he is. So can you tell me about that experience, and if you have a relationship with Michael J. Fox? I
do have a relationship. We're friends. I consider him a friend. I have a number to call if I ever need to get a hold of him. But I gotta be honest. I was a groupie. The first time he called me, after I announced that I had Parkinson's, he called me and just asked me how I was doing, the family, told me what he was up to, some of the things he's been through, that he could foresee me going through them as well. And the main thing was, he said, if you don't want to do anything with this, don't. Nobody's gonna look at you like, why aren't you helping? But if you do, give it your all. And that's all I needed to hear. That's Michael J. Fox from Back to the Future.
Well, he's a hell of a basketball player. I've seen the movie now.
Yeah.
Coming to the Wolf. Teen Wolf?
Yeah.
Man, he can play some ball now.
Yeah, he told me the Wolf fired him. Wolf fired him.
So what's ongoing projects and maybe something in association adjacent to and relative to the foundation?
We have cooking classes that we put on over the internet.
I know some people that need to get in that.
Yeah, Parkinson's is like this. If you eat healthy and you exercise, it's good for you whether you have Parkinson's or not. But it's especially good for us because it can give you more years as far as quality of life is concerned. Like right now, I'm trimming. I'm amongst family. I've known all y'all since I came to Portland, so I'm okay in here shaking in front of you guys. But I'm still trying to get over that hump of anxiety, of losing that vanity of thinking that people are like, damn, what the hell's wrong with him? And you know what I think it really is? It's me telling myself what I would be saying if I was them, if I didn't have this. And I hate to say that, but I would be. And so it's like I'm telling on myself.
Yeah. What type of player would you describe yourself as being when you played the game of basketball? Not only in the NBA, but what allowed you an opportunity to play in the NBA as a college player, growing up as a
My Uncle John, the one that taught me how to play ball, always told me, your name's not Brian, it's the garbage man. Pick it up, put it in. He said, there's always gonna be garbage. So, you know, I may not get to go out there and get my number called for shots and things like that, but people gonna miss baskets. They're gonna miss hoops, and if you don't want to pick it up, you can clean it up. I'm thankful for my run that I had in the NBA.
How many years?
12 years.
12 years. Man.
You know, sometimes, man, it's almost like I felt like, did I really do that? Was I really a part of that? And I look back and I say, man, yeah, you was a part of it.
Right.
But I've kind of gotten to the point now where it's like, I gotta be able to have the strength to make sure I get up and go do that exercise. Because a lot of times I'll look in the mirror and say, man, I did it. I don't have to do that. I don't have to work that hard no more. When really I do, I gotta work even harder. And I'm not just talking about physically, but I'm talking about spiritually too. So I'm going down there to work out with my dude. His name is Dad Romero. And, you know, my son's over there. He knows Dad. He's a spiritual cat, really strong, but at the same time, you know, very loving and helpful to his fellow man. And I'm going down there, you know, I put on a little bit over the holidays. Some of y'all look like you might have put 1 or 2 on too. Now, watch out. But I'm going down there and I'm going to work out, document it to see what kind of effects it has on my body. I already know it's going to have positive effects, but I want to be able to video log it and put something together so they can actually see, you know, what exercise and nutrition is doing. I definitely was never one of those people that thought that Portland was a soft team, especially when I was a young rookie in '94 and I had to go against Buck Williams, Duckworth, Kersey, Mark Bryant, Cliff Robinson, and on and on. And then on top of it, you had point guard from the Bronx, Rod Strickland. Love his game, can finish on anybody. So I get where they get, you know, because that team is as rough as they was on the court, off the court, we're all in the community. Right. And that was a good thing. It was great. We was the dirty. You know, we was the dirty, and that just meant we go out there and get down. You know, you had She getting crazy, you had me out there falling all over, Sabonis, you know, just all that. Man, that was some of the best years of my life playing on that team, man.
Tell me about probably, I'm gonna ask you, tell me about the most painful victory, if not in Portland Trailblazer history, but maybe that Laker loss down in LA. That game, hey man, you know, what can I say, man?
I see you all right. Yeah, no, it was real tough. One of the tougher moments, and I'm gonna put him out there since I got the camera. I told you I was gonna get you. My cousin Jermaine. I got him sitting behind the backboard. He got BrianGrant jersey on, right? We lose. 2 years ago, we was talking. I said, man, get that old funky Laker jersey out there. That's the one I wore to the game. I said, what? Had the Laker jersey on under his BBK jersey. I'm gonna slow that down, man, because it might be a hit put out on him. Yeah, but anyway, he did that. But that loss was crazy, man. Anybody that was there, you were there, you know. It was just, we went in.
The best team, 1 through 15, 1 through 14 in the league.
But imagine this though, we came back from being 3-1 down. Yeah. You know, win that second one, 3-2. Get that third one, 3-3. Nobody's ever come back and done it, right? We were so confident going into that game. I didn't think anything could stop us, and really, it's hard to even think back to where it turned. I think it turned when it was either Shaw hit that. B. Shaw hit a bank three, and after that we couldn't make a basket. We couldn't do a damn thing.
Well, I was waiting on Dunleavy to call a timeout at some point too, though.
I think he was over there shocked too. He was shocked too. I mean, I was on the bench for a moment, just like, oh my God. You just knew like something crazy is getting ready to happen because we up 15. Yeah. You know, we couldn't miss, and then all of a sudden we couldn't hit nothing, man. And after that game was over, I can remember going to the locker room and just sitting there like this, just looking like, did we just lose this damn game? Did we just drop this game for real? And then before I even got to the bus, my mind started thinking, okay, what's gonna happen with the team? Who's gonna be where? Who, what, when, where? Where am I gonna be? It was crazy, man. I knew that we weren't gonna recover from that loss.
We're gonna take a break. Basketball KINGZ PDX, we'll be right back. Ask you about your relationship with Karl Malone.
My relationship with Karl, you know, most people like to think because we had that incident on the court back in, I caught a little elbow to the eyeball. It wasn't nothing though.
Yeah,
it wasn't nothing. Well, I got hit.
How many words, dude?
We had some words. You know, I had a couple things I wanted to get off my chest.
I remember. You had most of the words, man.
Yeah, I mean, he was a vet. And I was the young vet. So, we've got a very good relationship because, you know, after that incident happened, they came back to Portland and everybody was expecting me to retaliate and do something crazy. My only retaliation was holding him to 8 points in 46 minutes. That meant more to me than anything. But fast forward 2010, I've been diagnosed with Parkinson's. I have a big gala, Karl Malone, and I say this, and I'm not pointing nobody out or anything like that. I heard from D-Style once I was diagnosed. But there's certain people you just think that you would have heard from that I never heard from, and then there are people that I heard from that I thought, wow, I can't believe you're reaching out to me. And one of them was Karl. So I just saw the piece. I saw you got diagnosed with Parkinson's. What can I do to help? I said, well, shoot, you remember when you split my eye? He's like, yeah. I said, when I went back to Portland, because I didn't do any interviews after that game, there was about 100 media in the locker room. And they're like, so did you hear what Karl had to say about you last night? I said, yeah. They go, what do you think about that? And I said, you know what? I got nothing but respect for Karl Malone. I patterned my game after his. I heard he's an outdoorsman. Maybe one of these days we can go fishing. So the Portland community always remembered that. And when we had our first Shake It Till We Make It, we raised $107,000 for one item. One item. And we went up there and we went fishing. I got a chance to really get to know him. And it was, you know, you talk about Karl Malone being somebody who delivers on the court. He delivered in a way better way for what he did off the court. Yeah.
Can you talk about Access Grant and what that project's about?
Yeah, Access Granted is something that Chevalo Boyd came up with, whom I'm working with on the project. I just thought it would be a good thing to kind of document my life as it is, you know, now that I'm divorced, I have Parkinson's, but I also have 8 loving kids. I live in a city I love. I just wanted to kind of share that with the world and share a little bit more of my story than most people get because, you know, it was easy to do good deeds here because the community was so good in coming and helping you do what it is you wanted to do or accomplish. It was easy to do well in the community here, but I want people to know that there's other sides to me too. You know, other sides that somebody go, oh my God, really? You know, and I was telling my son the other day, I was pointing to a picture of me back in the day and I said, man, I hate that guy right there. And he was like, why? I said, because I know I can never be him again. You know, but that's all of us. We all got, you know, certain things, but just, I'm trying to figure out who I am now in life. I know that I'm BrianGrant with Parkinson's and I'm an advocate and retired player, but I need to quit trying to be like him and be what I'm supposed to be now.
Toughest matchup ever, man.
I would say it was Karl because we were like the same size, but to be so big, he was fast, he was quick. Yeah. I mean, he could run, he knew how to seal you up, he was strong, jumper for days, but the toughest matchup that I loved going against was Shaquille. I liked it because when I was in Portland and everybody knew I had to guard Shaq, they would kind of leave me alone because I'd be in the locker room trying to get in the zone, you know, okay, yeah, you want to what to my wife? You call my mama a what? I would have to do that and get myself pumped up. And if you ever seen pictures of me in the hallway when we were playing them, you'll see I'm just jogging in place, trying to get my body warm. Because I knew first 2 minutes, when he gets it, just let him go. He ain't gonna stop that. But he got to catch me going the other way now. And after 2 minutes, when it went from his ass being on me to his back, I had a little bit of a chance, And I only like doing it not because it was easy, but because it was hard. And sometimes you like getting hit, you know what I'm saying? I like, that wakes me up, makes me feel alive in the game. But
so it wasn't about so much about the battles. You had the mindset that you was gonna win the war with him.
Yeah, well, that war that we was having that day.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
I was going to try to win it, There's certain battles within that war, which is the game, that I wasn't going to win, and that's the first 2 minutes of the game.
Exactly.
I tried to stop him on that. He'll break my wrist on a dunk or something,
How good do you think that Shawn Kemp would have been had, hypothetically now, he would have stayed in Seattle, played along Gary Payton for his years, and he would have continued to progress in his career? How good could he have been?
Well, I don't really personally know Shawn. I just remember the first game I played against him when I was in Sacramento, and they were playing at the Tacoma Dome because they were redoing Key Arena. And I was already a fan just because, he's tall, can jump, and, exciting player. But I came down and beat him on the baseline, and Detlef came over and I dunked on him. And he comes up to me, slaps me on the ass. I thought it was a sheet or something. And he goes, that shit was motherfucking shit. He's like, what? I was sick. What? Check this one out. He goes down and makes a move on Sabonis. Boom. He goes, you like that one? You like? Give me another one. Give me another one. And I was just like, what the? Yeah, babe. Yeah.
But if you get to know him, that's his personality.
Yeah. I mean, shoot, he was an exciting player. I mean, that was one of the biggest reasons I didn't want to go, back home to play in Cleveland, because I just know what it would have been like with all my family. I couldn't have played with all my family, and then having that laziness, that winter.
In their prime, Karl Malone, Tim Duncan.
In the prime?
In their prime, man. In their prime, at their very best.
I'm gonna still have to take Karl, man, because he gonna shoot the jumper. He gonna.
Arguably probably the greatest post player to play the pick and roll, I would say.
Yeah.
James Worthy, Dominic Wilkins. In their prime.
I'm gonna go Worthy.
In their prime, Shaquille O'Neal, Hakeem Olajuwon, the Dream.
Team Dream all day, all night.
Shake and bake.
Shake and bake.
Did he ever talk on the floor?
No. He didn't have to say nothing, because if I was guarding him, he'd go ahead and make the baskets. And then when I tried to take it to him, they put Otis Thorpe on you. His hands was like this big, and he ain't had to do nothing. He'd just be like this. I said, get over here. You know what I mean?
Hey, man, great stuff, man. Great basketball player, better human being, BrianGrant. Thank you for coming on, man.
Thanks for having me on,
Hey,
brother.
Man, thanks, man. Appreciate you.
Sure.
Basketball Kings PDX Show. Troy Berry, Kamal Herndon, BrianGrant. Peace out. Shout out to Aaron Cowan and Aaron Bell.